Hey guys, welcome to my live stream. Welcome to my gardening live stream, plant live stream, whatever we want to do live stream. Yeah, and I'm cleaning the desk because it's raining outside. There'll be no outside live stream for a while. So yeah, doing it inside. We are sowing out, maybe planting stuff, and I have a lot of seeds that I want to go through. Cactus seeds that we should plant, like flower stuff, Lobivia hybrids, Sörensia hybrids. Yeah, I want to continue sorting out seeds that we need to put like two categories: one for growing, one for giving away, donating to charity. I want to donate seeds to charity again. I haven't done that in a while. So this year, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, and I'm at the desk cleaning up. Will take a while until the place is clean. I have ordered coconut fiber, so within the next week we can also be repotting again. I just ordered, and I suspect it will take a while, maybe 3 or 4 days. But then we are repotting again if the weather is okay. If it's raining, we're always live streaming inside. So yeah, will be interesting to go through these. I have completely forgotten what's in there. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. Good morning. It's raining outside and the live stream is indoors today. And yeah, that's good because there's so much stuff that I wanted to do. Want to continue packing the seeds that we had already started with. I have found a box of cactus seeds in the cellar, and it's mostly stuff like Lobivia, Sörensia, that kind of thing, hybrid seeds. And we have to go through and decide what we will grow from it and whatnot, you know. So yeah, that's on the plan for today. Then I have some dried seeds here that we should put into the bag before I forget it and throw them away. 2 different types of seeds apparently here. Yeah, I'm really happy. Like yesterday, I spent a little time just carrying a few of the plants that were still in the greenhouse, just carrying those outside because it was raining so much, you know. So many plants haven't been watered enough in the season because it barely rained, you know. And now it's been raining for a couple of days, in one. Hasn't really stopped raining in the last days. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I specifically brought plants out just so they can hydrate a little. Because it's a different thing when it's constantly raining, you constantly have humidity in the morning. You need to water quite a lot to make up for that. So yeah, that's the plan for now. Outside, I mean, there are still a few things that are happening outside. The plants that we have shown yesterday that have flower buds, I want to do time lapse with them, and maybe we will also bring them in the live stream, you know. But apart from that, I think we will do a lot of the live streams inside now, getting into Halloween mode, and I really like that. So yeah, let's get started. I want to get these out of the way. The seeds here, this is Sörensia Schaffery yellow. And I just want to put them in a bag. Otherwise, I will lose track of that. Sometimes I'm having kitchen paper on the desk because I'm cleaning and then I'm throwing it away, you know? Why are you wearing a hat? Because I like wearing hats. And it was because I'm constantly working outside in the sun, and you know, kind of protects my big bald head, you know. It's kind of a little bit protecting against sunlight. My mom's just at the skin doctor to have something looked at with the skin. It's just I'm out quite a lot. Yeah, I hope it will normalize. I hope it's not happening that we will just get rain the whole month now. Could also happen that it doesn't stop raining anymore. We will see. Hey mate, Remo, greetings to you. Thank you for being here. I'm just cleaning seeds here, and I've been looking for a piece of paper so I can roll the seeds on it. Like when I have them on the kitchen paper, it's often good to roll them somewhere where you can fold something against them rolling away, you know? So this is going to be great. Yeah. Yesterday I saw the crab spider on the big Validus in the greenhouse. I was really happy that I saw her. I was a little worried she might have been on the flower when it fell down. Yeah, that spider looks amazing. It's just a cool species. I really like it. That's why I've been filming it so much. I thought maybe I've been overdoing it with the crab spider, but I really like it. It's a cool spider. They always look like they're in attack mode, looking a little bit like a scorpion, and I like that about them. So yeah, I'm loosening the cactus seeds here on the kitchen paper. I've dried them on this piece here. And you usually have to get them loose again when they are on it. It's not a big problem. You can always use a tool, but I try to do it manually because you feel the pressure that you're giving them. But yeah, you can also just use something like this and scrape them off the paper. So yeah, also continued to edit some of the time lapses from last season. Yeah, it's crazy how much I developed as in regards to filming them. I've been filming a time lapse and it's been in the set for 3 days already, and that thing looks great. I really like how it's filming out. You know, looking at it, I can already see the angle that it's going to film, and I'm very happy with the development. Looking at the first time lapses to what I'm doing now. Trond, I'm not sure why it filtered that out. I have no idea. I'm too old for knowing the current things that they are moderating against. So yeah, just scraping off the seeds here. Shafari yellow, and it's a great plant. Really nice flowers and all. Hey, good morning, Pear. Greetings to you. Good morning. Hope everything's okay. We are inside doing live stream inside, cleaning seeds and all that stuff. But great to see you. Also, everyone else, thank you for being here. We are just having a nice indoor live stream. I found a big box of cactus seeds in the cellar that I had placed in the cellar because in the cellar the temperature wasn't so high. Like in summer, we've been having excessive temperatures indoors. So I can either freeze them, really decide to freeze them, or keep them cold. And this was the middle ground, but we can't keep them there. We have to decide, do we now plant what's in there? Like I'm sure there are some really good things in there. And we have to go through and check and really select a few good ones. And the other stuff that we will not sow, we either actually freezing the seeds, or we are donating them to charity. One of those two possibilities. We will go through in the next weeks. There's a lot of stuff. Last 2 years, I basically didn't send out seeds anymore, and I just collected them, just put them together. I put a few in the freezer, but not enough. We have to look into that. You can definitely freeze cactus seeds. You just have to keep them really, really dry. There are drying agents that you can put in. like silica, silica gel. And yeah, it can help to keep the seeds and or the pollen dry. You can freeze both pollen and seeds. Lot big seed banks are freezing seeds, but they are doing it in nitrogen. I think it's probably safer to do it like that, and but also not so easy. So I'm really trying. If I'm not using something, if I have seeds that I will not plant them in the next year or two. We will freeze them now, freezing them or donating them. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you. I haven't really. I'm not. From time to time, I'm not really seeing the comments. I usually take a little longer, but I always get to it eventually. Thank you, guys. Yeah, cleaning the seeds here, and then we're bagging them. I think this is going to be maybe 500 seeds. That's a lot of seeds for one fruit. Shafari, in my opinion, it's a self-fertile plant. At least that's my opinion today. Like, took me a while to really see that plant grow fruit reliably. And it doesn't happen all the time. So even self-fertile plants probably drop a few here and there, but I really think there is some self-fertility going on. It's very dominant. Like when you're growing seedlings from it, a lot of them come after Shafari yellow again. Really very dominant in regards to how the seedlings look afterwards. It doesn't mean you can't create a good hybrid with it. It's just getting harder. It's making it a little harder because then you can kind of expect when you grow something like that, it will end up similar. That similarity is something that you usually wouldn't want. You're pollinating something with the pollen of another plant because you have a specific idea for how the seedlings should come out. And when you have a self-fertile plant, that completely messes with that because it will be a little bit, but it will not be a true hybrid cross where both parents are contributing. It's just you have that one parent that's overly dominant and the other one is almost silent. Yeah, like that freezing is really good. The way the seed banks are doing it, that's a great way. I mean, over the years, I've had discussions about freezing with different people, and like the opinions vary. I've had people that told me that everything that they have frozen eventually became unviable. But I have no idea how that happened. Like in which conditions. I couldn't replicate it. Like when I'm freezing seeds, they usually, I mean, they also lose viability, but much smaller, but much slower than compared to when you have them at room temperature. Yeah, I mean, the way I freeze seeds, it's not really complicated. I just put the bag in the freezer sometimes when I'm really overwhelmed. Like when I have too many, then it can happen that I'm just putting them in the freezer like that. They are still bagged separately, and it should be okay. But yeah, if you can add something like silica gel, something as a drying agent, that will give you extra safety if water comes in, because you always have a little bit a little bit condensation on the bag. I'm very sorry to hear about that. But they are very beautiful. Maybe you should try just growing them. They're really good. They're really nice, beautiful plants. Give them a chance. So yeah, there's a lot of dirt in these. Like when I was cleaning the seeds, I wasn't really doing a very good job. I think I need to clean up the comments here. That word doesn't explain that word doesn't exist here. I don't even want to repeat it. Because otherwise I'm putting it on the video. But you guys, not in a million years. So yeah, I'm almost done here. I have them, like, very often it takes a while to get them all down because they get stuck to the paper. You can do it on cardboard, makes it a little easier to get them down, but it's still also sticking to it. The more fruit stuff you have in there, the longer it takes to get it off. Sometimes when you have a fruit, like a little blob of pulp, that stuff makes it glue together, and you have to unglue it again. So, okay, yeah, Schaffery yellow. Schaffery yellow. I want to clean this up here. I don't know what that thing has been turning around. So yeah, getting cleaned up here. I really want to remove all of the trash that is in there. I want to clean out the dirt, most of the dirt, like the bigger particles that are in there. Nothing really, not really much, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfectly clean, but just clean enough that you don't have that immense amount of organic material in the bag. This was really roughly cleaned. I don't know what happened there. Like when I just saw it, I was really surprised, like about how bad we cleaned them. This was a very big fruit. I assume that all the pulp has probably caused a mess when I cleaned it. This is the kind of fruit, if you don't clean it in time, it will rot. The self-fertile fruits, you know. Yeah, that's really a lot of seeds. That's why I think it's self-fertile, you know. You have an abnormal rate of pollination there. And you can greatly influence how that how many, like, if you don't pollinate it, you might still get a fruit, but it's not so many seeds, you know. Like if you pollinate it, it definitely makes a big difference in regards to how many seeds are in there. It's just that sometimes you always get a fruit, no matter what. It's like a fail-safe, you know. It's like a fail-safe, but if you pollinate, you get excessively many. So yeah, cleaning up a little, but I think this could be over 600 maybe. I'm sure if we would count them, this is a lot. And this is how the fruit usually is. Like if you pollinate it, this is how they look like, really full. It's a good plant if you have a shop and you wanna offer something that might be self-fertile, you know, like as a safe self-fertile guarantee that it will have a fruit. I've seen it drop fruit, but rarely, really rarely. Like where the fruit didn't ripen, it happened, but not often. It's not bad. Look at this. This might be more. We should. I don't want to count it because it takes quite a while to count seeds. I always did it in the past, and this would take a while. If you count it by hand, then yeah, maybe an hour. I don't know. You have to. I usually counted them to 100. You can also count 100 and weigh them, and then weigh the same amount again. To get to a number that you can calculate. Yeah, either it goes by weight. A lot of people work with weight. They don't count seeds anymore, but I like it. Yeah, exactly. That's how I always did it when I did wholesale. But so much of the work here, like with the hybrids, isn't wholesale anymore. So much is just little fruit with maybe 100 seeds, 100, 200 seeds. Happens very often that you get a tiny, tiny fruit. Like with the seeds that I cleaned this year, I would say 50% had a fruit that was like 30 to 100. So yeah. Okay. So let's have a look. I want to look into that bag. We have so many seeds here. And I want to see what kind of a year this is. This is Walter Lake Cantora. This is great, but it's too old. I'm not sure. I don't think that we should plant these. This here, Lubivia Hybrid by Vladi Yassan. Gräsers Schönste, Gräsers Erfolg, Hilde Winterer, crossed with Feathers. Yeah, we will put that one aside. That's not bad. This is good, Lubivia Zecheri. Tunariensis. But the seeds are really, really old. I'm not sure if I want to plant that. 2020 maybe. This is Cantora Wörlitz. Let's put that aside. Oh no, this is a Wörlitz hybrid. Oh, this should be planted. This is a hybrid with Validus and Orange California. This is something that I want to select for growing. Then I have here Gladiatus, Sörensia candicans. I don't know if they still run it as a subspecies, but if they do, then it's subspecies Gladiatus, and this is pollinated with Liskes Feuerzauber. Decent hybrid, but probably nothing that we will plant. This is Cantora Teshi and Apricoglow. This is a good plant. Also, like big yellow flowers. It's one of the best yellow flowers that I have. Maybe the best. Yeah, and has a lot from Cantora yellow. But it looks a little metallic. It's a really beautiful yellow plant. And the only reason I'm thinking about not planting them is because I suspect it could have self-fertility also going on. It's one of the plants where I suspect it might be self-fertile. So yeah. This is Lubivia hybrid. Can't tell if it's good or not. I really need to look them up. This is a hybrid by Reinhard Liske. Reinhard Liske 1424. I have no idea if that one is good or not. Let's put it aside. Also Lubivia. Botanica. This is Charm hybrid. We will not grow more from that. Like the plant everything with charm will be sorted out. And the reason is because it's probably self-fertile. Congratulations. That's great to hear. Lobivia saltensis. I'm not sure if it relates to the Oprepanda complex. That one often works as fodder, but I could see others working too. Yeah, so it makes sense. I like these plants as fodder. A lot of Lobivia are compatible. This one, Ika, Dessau, and Gräsers Überraschung, like usually had a beautiful shape, but so far always small flowers. I don't know, maybe not. This is Humkes Roro. We should put that aside. It's not bad. Hilde Winterer. Like this was when Snoopy passed away, and I didn't grow any of these seeds. I think, like this was a year where it was barely functioning. So yeah, I didn't really plant enough. So maybe we will plant them now. I stored them at cool temperatures, so they should be good. I just got to make sure that we select the right ones. We have to really look into every cross. A lot of the hybrids here, Cantora, Serensia candicans, Echinopsis toralapana hybrids, but also some good other ones in between that we should consider to plant. First Light, this one here, First Light, hybrid with Supergelb, and in my opinion, First Light's really dominant. I'm not really working with it anymore, so we are sorting that out. I definitely have to. I mean, I want to sow out the really important ones that we have here in these. That's why we're going through to find the really important ones, and those we have to grow. If not, I need to donate them. I really want to decide what to do with the seeds now. And we will plant all winter. We will be planting out the whole winter, maybe grafting also. So it will be interesting. Maybe we can do a few seedling grafts, that kind of stuff, Looking forward to that. This is Wörlitz, Gröner, and Legon. Oh no, we're not growing that. This sounds like a self-fertile plant. You have to really, when you're a breeder and you care for these plants, you really have to learn how to recognize the self-fertile plants. And there are quite a few. So yeah, and I'm also selecting Hilde Winterer because over the years I always made pollinations with Hilde Winterer, but I often didn't plant them. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at right now. The Lobivia, we have to look up separately. Everyone need a smartphone for that, to search for them, to search the number. This is pretty good. This is Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung and Cantora. I almost lost the whole plant over winter. This is really good. Yeah, this is nothing. No idea. Sometimes I have just a number on the bag, and of course I can't look it up right now in the live stream. With those, I will usually do it when the live stream's over, and then I forget it, like. This is Teleflora. We should plant these. Like Teleflora seeds always should be planted. We can't put these in the bag again. So yeah, we will definitely have to plant a lot. Planting a lot, sorting out a lot. There's just so much. A lot of the Gräser hybrids, I'm unsure if we should plant them or not. Like as an example, Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung, meaning Gräsers Erfolg self-pollinated. Those are hybrids that often come out similar to the mother. I don't want to say they are all self-fertile, but some of them are. But the flowers are great. So even if you are growing something self-fertile, you have an amazing plant in front of you, maybe. Very ruffled flowers. Impressive big cactus. But yeah, is it worth it? I mean, usually when I pollinate something, I want to have a specific hybrid. And in the cases when they are self-fertile, it's just a waste of time. It doesn't mean you can't get something amazing from them. I like mushrooms. I like to look around, you know, and try to identify just what I find. I've been doing that in the past, taking a lot of photos when I'm in the forest, that kind of stuff, you know. I like them. It's a very interesting field, but also, I mean, for obvious reasons, you know, there are limits, you know, but I like them. Really interesting stuff. Like you find so many different ones, so many beautiful. I would love to be able to identify more with spores, you know, like having a microscope and really looking in the spores. I always wanted to do that. And when I looked at the microscope prices, I kind of lost interest, you know, like it wasn't affordable. You have to be lucky that you get a good one, you know. But I like it. Might be doing more of that in the future again. I have no idea about that, but yeah, I mean I've been growing a lot of edible ones, you know, like the classic food stuff. I don't oyster mushrooms and that kind of stuff. That can be fun. That can be fun too. It's a very rewarding kind of thing. Also, I believe you are learning a little bit about the universe. Like if you think about the way the way people are, like the industry is growing mushrooms, like you are inducing germination, you know, like you have that petri dish and you are inducing germination. And it doesn't matter which one it is, you know. In this example, it's just a common, like a portobello mushroom, whatever. But you're inducing germination and it's like a big bang. I like that about it, you know. If you think about it in form of the big bang, it's nothing different. You have the little spores there and boom, suddenly you have spore germination and you have life. I find that really interesting. That part of, and also if you think about the universe which keeps expanding, it's growing a little bit like a mushroom in all directions, you know. I found that similarity to be interesting. But yeah, it's not my main field. You can't help but appreciate how many cool mushrooms you have, you know, like just the general. If you walk through the forest, there are chances you might find something that hasn't been described even. There are many that haven't even been found because very few people look so closely, and that's a great thing. Keep seeing good photos on social media. Okay, yeah, let's continue. But there are too many seeds here, and we should definitely. This is the little. We will be growing some of those. I'm not sure if we can grow them all, but some. Yeah, this nothing. This is also self-fertile, probably. Flying saucer hybrid. Oh, I have no idea which one this is. Oh, I know. Flying saucer. Yeah, I know which kind of a flower it has, and it has a purple eye in the flower. Not something that we will plant now. I'm looking for specific kind of lobevia or specific kind of really flashy kind of hybrids that were unusual. Yeah, and then some of the other seeds that won't be donated, we will freeze. We will definitely freeze some of them. I mean, otherwise they would just go to waste. If you keep them at room temperature, eventually the viability will be gone. So you know, if you are freezing them, the worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't work. At least if you really have no intention to plant them. This is grandiflora. Like over the years, I really started to appreciate grandiflora a lot more, like Lobivia grandiflora. Very interesting. And we will plant them probably. So this is Sörensia fatari. Really good flower, like strong orange. It's very similar to Huasha, but a little better in regards to the flower. But yeah, also a little bit risk of, like, the plant is really dominant, much like Huasha. Huasha is also a very dominant parent, bordering to self-fertility sometimes. So this here, Lobivia, this could be, like, a lot of the sorting out that I'm doing now is really sorting out self-fertile plants. And that shows you a little bit how many you can find. If you really look closely, a lot of these multi-hybrids, a lot of the Gräser hybrids, self-fertile, everything with Sörensia telegonoides, like Spachianus hybrids often, because those hybrids are often just other species with the wrong name. Very often telegonoides is misidentified as Spachianus. So yeah, all of these parents, if you're using them, you got to really look closely how successful they are and how many fruits are succeeding. This is Gröner Orange crossed with Flying Saucer and Marcola. The flowers are very big, really big flowers. This could be great. Just common sense should dictate us to sow them out. I will put them aside. This is Acacia hybrid Otto Schulz. Definitely something that we could plant. Wörlitz Cantora. That's kind of difficult. I have so many Wörlitz Cantora hybrids. So sometimes when I look into my seed stash, I see like 20 different ones, and you can't really say how good they are. You know, some of them are great, some of them aren't. And it's kind of difficult, like, predicting them, because they always have a certain range of hybrids that come after Wörlitz, like that classic purple color, magenta-like color, very often dominant, but you will get the 5 to 10 really good ones. So yeah, experience is what helps you to decide what you're sowing out. And right now I'm just going through. I suspect I've sorted these out already, because a lot of them are stuff that I wouldn't sow out. It's kind of difficult sometimes. A lot of Lobivia, and I want to go away from Lobivia a little bit. It got to the point where I had too many, where I really had too many. And they're taking all the good spots. This Otto Schulz, this is just a number. This is Schaffery yellow. Makes no sense to sow them out. Yeah, Wörlitz Cantora. And I guarantee if you would be growing them, you would have, like, maybe out of 100, you would have maybe 20% amazing flowers. This is great stuff, all of it. So we should consider donating them or freezing them. Either or. No other option, because if we keep it at room temperature, eventually they will run out of viability. They will just become unviable. This is Hildewinterer hybrid with Echinopsis. That's the kind of stuff I should be sowing out. This is Anemone, also a good one. Black flower throat, but also Lobivia, a little bit smaller. Needs to be a little bit more exposed when you grow them. Growing Lobivia isn't the same as growing a columnar cactus. And doing both at once, like it's one thing if you use your greenhouses to just grow columnar cacti, or to just grow Lobivia, but both together, where you have the big ones and the small ones, is kind of difficult. I kind of move away a little bit from it. Yeah, no. So many Lobivia that are amazing, but I don't have space for it. Many Fruits of Dessau by Hartmut Kellner. A really good hybrid, actually, but also very dominant. Yeah, I do so too. My fridge is full. My fridge is really full. When I was still married, we had two and a half freezers, like real freezers just for food. And I was also blocking some of it with seeds. But that was the first thing I got rid when I was divorced. Getting rid of the freezers that we were paying for. The electricity costs can be substantial. And now the only thing that I'm freezing is the half freezer that's part of the fridge. I wouldn't be using anything else if I didn't have that. It comes with a little freezer and it's just enough for a few seeds, and that's okay. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have probably gotten rid of that too. And it can pay off. Like I said, if you are freezing stuff like really for long, then it can pay off to just get a little freezer for the seeds. The colder it is, the better. I don't know. We have too many seeds. I hate it. What's that? Oh, this is interesting. These are old seeds, but I should be growing them. This is a hybrid between Echinopsis subdenudata and Matucana. This looks interesting. We should be growing that. This Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung and Cantora. I really should grow them. There's so many good ones. I think we have to grow more. Otherwise, we will lose many. They will just become unviable. And it would be a shame. Like when you're going through something and you see a lot of good stuff, would really be a shame. Like this winter, we will be planting more. And I hate it. Because it will be a lot of extra work. It's not easy to grow so many seedlings. So. And there's some good ones in between everywhere here. Like I constantly pick stuff up where I feel like I should have planted them. Come on, but sometimes I'm disappointed when I see so many that I haven't grown. But it doesn't matter how many you plant. You will never be able to plant them all if you're a breeder like I am. Like in a normal season, you have maybe a 500 fruit in one season. And if you only grow maybe the 10 best, that's already a lot of space. You can never grow them all. This is also interesting. This is Atrocereus. Atrocereus. That's a good genus. They are a little bit more cold sensitive, but they are amazing. Beautiful plants. This is Hageocereus. We should plant that. Oh, this is also nice. This is also botanical. Pink stripes here. We have a lot of good stuff here. It's a shame that the seeds don't last forever. Everything that, like, when we're done here, like right now after the video, I will freeze the part that we will not be growing. And then we're discussing, yeah, maybe I'm donating some. I have no working system, like I don't want to supply stuff for the commercial market. I don't want to donate stuff to see it ending up on the market being resold. Yeah, but I will do something like that, like just donate, and and ask people to not sell them, to just give them to each other. That way I could be seeing it. That way I would be donating seeds again. Yeah, even the big greenhouses, they have to plant out in huge amounts. Like I know how the bigger nurseries are sowing out, and it's really quite a lot. But they are also cycling away a lot, they are also giving away a lot, which I am not doing. I have, like in the past, I've mostly kept the stuff, mostly kept them, gave away, like one giveaway on Halloween is what I did, like put out a sign that where people could take one cactus on Halloween, and it was fun while it lasted, but it had to end. Like at one point I was stuck with so many cacti, and it was just getting cold, like when you have really the winter temperatures where you can't leave the cacti outside. So yeah, I don't know. I will put on the compost this year. We will really put everything that has substantial issues, we will put on the compost. Gotta sort out more. So this year, interesting Echinopsis species. Like there are a few Echinopsis that I haven't grown yet. One of the rarer species, like Echinopsis bridgesi, like not the columnar, not the Trichocereus, but that actual Echinopsis. That's something like that, something similar. The actual Echinopsis bridgesi, which is a small clumping Echinopsis similar to Oprepanda. And that one is a great plant. I always wanted to grow them. There are so many that are just Wörlitz cantora. Wörlitz cantora is a combination, like I said, if you grow 100 seedlings, maybe a 90 will be ranging from mediocre to great, and 10 will be the really, really good ones, but you have to grow them out. You have to grow 100. Sometimes every flower looks different, and with Wörlitz cantora, it's really like that. It's a combination where people used to grow a lot of seedlings per cross. Like I've seen some classic crosses by Reinhard Liske where they have grown 150 seedlings just from one cross. And yeah, and that's how these are usually grown. You grow them by the number, and if you have a few really, really great ones in between, then that's a success, nobody cares if you had a lot of mediocre ones in the middle, as long as the good ones are also there. And Wörlitz cantora can always produce something amazing. This also Echinopsis subdenudata crossed with Matucana. That's cool. We have to plant that. I had forgotten how many seeds are in there. A lot of them could be great. This Hilde-Winterer is something we should grow. Everything else we will put in the freezer for now, and then we decide. This also Wörlitz, no, this is Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung and Cantora. A really great hybrid. Might be self-fertile though. Yeah, this is just, I mean, when you're a breeder, you have so many. It makes it kind of hard because you can't always predict which one will be the great cross, which one will be the amazing hybrid, And so you have to sometimes risk just to plant random numbers. But it takes so much space. It takes so much space just to grow out a shelf of Lobivia. And from those Lobivia, you might have just a handful of really, really amazing ones, But those are really amazing. Yeah, this comes away. This is Sörensia rosarioana. I would not plant that anymore. I have two plants. I have two Sörensia rosarioana, and they are great. In my opinion, they are a natural hybrid, maybe with huasha, like Sörensia formosa and maybe Sörensia huasha or Sörensia pseudocandicans as second partner. And they're great. They flower earlier. Have a nice yellow flower, I believe. Right? Yellow or orange, something like that. Hey, welcome to the live stream. We are just discussing what we're planting here. And it's kind of difficult because you can't always predict it. You're looking at the label, you know, and the label often doesn't really speak much, apart from the fact that, yeah, one of the, you know how they look like, how both parents look like, you know the flower, but you do not know how they work in combination, and that makes it a little harder when you're growing stuff. Right now, I'm mostly selecting Hilde Winterer, interesting hybrids with interesting parents like Acacia hybrids, stuff with Otto Schulz. And I left in a lot of Lobivia. Those Lobivia are great. We should find a way to plant some of them too. So we're almost through here. It's getting to the end, luckily. And then this bag will go to the freezer as is. Gives me a little bit more time to plant these, and then we're dealing with the rest. Also a bunch older ones that I wouldn't plant anymore. But in general, most of these look pretty good. They look like they've been kept cool. What's that? Lubivia intermediate, I think, is it, does it say? No. I have stopped planting hybrids with Dessau, like seeds with Dessau. There's just a high number that come out after Dessau, and I don't have the space. Do you accept Sörensia name for typical Trichoceroids? I mean, it depends. Not for classic Trichoceroids. The name Sörensia, the way it is intended, I think by Boris Schlumberger, is it mostly has those species like Janus, like Huasha, like Arboricola, you know, a lot of species that are not really columnar cactus. And it made sense to keep these separate, you know. It made sense to have one different name for the plants that are now in Sörensia. Like if you look at the list, there are many in that group of in that complex where you could agree they are different than a columnar cactus. The classic columnar cacti, they are back. They are back as Trichoceroids, you know. Yeah, Formosa and Bruchi, I mean, they are the classic Sörensia. But genetically, if the others are close to it genetically and it makes sense to include them, I had tried to invite Boris Schlumberger in for the live stream. But last time he didn't really feel like it's a good idea, apparently. But yeah, he's welcome to do it. I would love to have a discussion about that, you know? Like this would be a situation where it would be great to ask Boris, hey, what's the situation there and why did you do that? You know, why did this species end up here? And my offer still stands, you know? I would love to have that kind of a discussion. I can't really speak for like the genetic sense. I've looked into all the results, like 2012, Boris Schlumberger put out like a big paper, and I looked at that, and it took me a good year to really understand some aspects of it, you know. and I can't really say why they have chosen to do it like that in some cases, you know. I would do it similar as the way it is right now. I would have Trichocereus separate. I would have I would definitely have I would have brought back Heliantocereus because I like the name more. But apparently there were good reasons. Boris explained that to me, that the other name was just older. Like Sörensia was just older. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of room for discussion. I think you have to really look into the DNA testing with these. These days, they are probably very capable of telling like where they how close they are related, you know. And so much of the current work is done with that in mind. So yeah, I mean, you can always debate whether a certain species should be accepted, should not be accepted, whether some other species should be split off in a separate genus. You can always debate that. I'm not really following up anymore. I don't really try to be up to date. I think that I'm already happy that they gotten rid of the Echinopsis thing in the past, like when they had that big genus with Echinopsis and they were all in one big catch-all genus, you know. I really didn't like that system. And everything that happens afterwards, after that system, is an improvement. But it's never really the status. It always, you know, we always learn more and it never stops. So they will continue to change stuff. I'm not really for my plans, I'm not really changing the labels anymore. That time's over. I mean, I know the names, you know, and when there's a new one, I have it too. And when I'm doing a video, you know, it's important to sometimes say the newest name. But that's the only kind of thing where I look at the names these days. I like to look at the plant. Plant speaks for itself. So yeah, I mean, the plants, the seeds that I'm going through, we will be planting some of them in the next weeks. Because otherwise they will become unviable. Like there's a time frame with cactus seeds. I think you can keep cactus seeds for a good 5 years, especially if they have been frozen. So we will definitely freeze what we will not use. And this is a lot that we have to deal with here. But we have to grow these first because they are the oldest. Oldest seeds that I have. And there are some in between where I would love to see, like, there might already be plants that have flowered from the seeds that I've given out. So in the next year or two, I have to look at the crosses that people post, because sometimes you can already see how a cross came out before you've even planted it. Like if you keep seeds, then you can sometimes look up what the other breeders have done with your seeds. What's that? I need to look up the number here. I sometimes only have a number on the bag, and it's really a bad thing, because then you don't know if you want to plant it or not. I'm almost through here. And yeah, we might, like with the plants that are sorted out, I'm not sure if we got, there might still be some amazing ones in the seeds that we didn't plant, you know, that we're not planting. Life is always about making choices, and you have to make choices. Otherwise, you are overwhelmed with it all. And you have to risk that sometimes you are making the wrong choice. It's just something like when it's about planting stuff, you can't keep them all, you can't grow them all. And we are following our guts here. So yeah, that's how we do that. I'm going through everything, and I'm just deciding by gut feeling, by remembering the parents. I have already seen a few of them I've already seen offspring of. And then, yeah, maybe we can can select the best ones. Yeah, I mean, if you have something outside, you know, that's exactly how it is. They usually, the seeds are dropped in nature, then they germinate when the next season begins. In my opinion, 5 years, if frozen, is a good time frame. And in that time frame, you can still have seeds that are unviable. You know, it's not that it guarantees you that the seeds will still be viable. It's just a general number. There's so much stuff in here. Crassicaulis, this one we need to plant. Crassicaulis, these might already be unviable. Some of the Lobivia with smaller flowers, they lose viability first. This here is a Harisia species that I wanted to plant. Born to be Wild, something that we should plant. This could be self-fertile here. I hate it. It's just too much. Here's Hildewintera. The Hildewinteras we will plant in the next couple of weeks. Maybe planting a good 10 different ones. I like that I like that mammillaria. It's a cool mammillaria. But I don't have the climate here. It's too cold here, you know. They need a little bit warmer than I can give them. I don't really have the higher temperatures here, unfortunately. Oh man, this is going to be rough. We have too many. This is just rough. I didn't even know, like, everything that happened in 2023 and 2024, I barely, you know, processed because I was really having a bad time in that time frame. Was really bad time, and some great crosses were still made. I still have them. Maybe we can plant some of them. Like, will be interesting to see how the viability will be. Hey, good morning, Robert. Greetings to you. Yeah, we're working with the grow lamp too in here. We are planting them. Like, I'm usually inducing germination in front of the heater, and then I'm putting them under the plant lamp. I have a little tent, you know, where I keep them, and yeah, they are getting 12 hours of light, not more. 12 hours. That's the minimum I can afford. I don't know why it removed it, Remo. It's the usual auto moderator problems. I mean, I have an idea why it could have removed it. But yeah. So I'm almost through here. I'm glad when I'm done. So I can start bagging them here. This goes back in. Most of the ones that I have here are either Lobivia that need to be looked up particularly, or Wörlitz cantora. Wörlitz cantora is always promising, but also needs space. You know, you need space to grow them out. I'm really getting frustrated when I see how many seeds we haven't grown, you know? You have to look at it like from this point of view, like as a cactus breeder. If you're never sending out the seeds, then you're wasting them, you know? Then they're gone. Like, if you miss the time frame where the viability, you know, when the viability runs out, if you fail to actually grow them and don't send any out to others, then it's a total waste of great chances, you know? So we have to do more of that, like growing the stuff that I didn't grow in the past. It's just every year we are getting new stuff. How's that supposed to end? This is going to be a house full of cacti, you know, where you can't really move anymore because the cacti are everywhere. I don't want to have that. So the stuff that I sorted out is just really, really the best. Stuff like Hilde interesting botanicals, Gräser hybrids with big, big flowers and good ruffles. Really just the best. I'm not selling seeds. We're just selecting what we will plant. But this is older seeds and it needs to be done, you know? It needs to be done. So I want to either freeze them for later when I get the time to actually plant more, or plant them. Like this is a little older. This is from 2023. I've had a really bad year that year, and I just put them aside and never did anything with them. These are Sörensia seeds from Joylene. These are great. Sometimes I only have the Lubivia number. And I need to look them up, like Jürgen Theisinger. I have a lot of Jürgen Theisinger hybrids. And I have no idea. Like I always just see the number. And that could be great. That could be mediocre. And I wouldn't know. I'm not selling seeds. We are planting them, you know? We're just planting them. I'm not selling. I hate the seed business. I want nothing to do with it. What I will do is I will probably donate seeds at a certain point, you know? I'm planning to do a charity seed giveaway. That's why we're also going through. I need to separate what we will grow and what we donate. So there will be a giveaway. It's just not happening right now. These will be frozen. Everything that we will not that is not currently where there's nothing happening right now will be frozen. A lot of multi-hybrids that could be great, could be mediocre. It's kind of hard to tell right now. There's so many parents involved that you often can't predict it, you know? Hey, congratulations. Don't let the trees overgrow your house. I always have the trees that are getting close to the house and I hate it. You constantly have to take down the trees. Otherwise, it's taking away the light. It's making you sad. When it's always dark in the house, you know, I hate that. That's how it always was. Like when we had these big oak trees all around the house, and it was always dark. Yeah, this stuff from 2022. Like this, the kind of stuff that I wouldn't even want to sell because of the viability, you know, because you just can't guarantee viability anymore. That's the kind of stuff. It's probably viable, but maybe not. Oh, by the way, this is how I deal with the heat wave. Today it's not so hot. This was in summer. This was my way to deal with the heat. So let's see. I'm just putting everything in one bag, and this is going in the freezer now until I have time to do a giveaway. This needs to be grown. This is by Uwe Kahle. Uwe has some really good seeds, and he's sending some from time to time, and I need to plant them. Oh, okay. It's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, it's nice when you have shade and when you need it, you know. It's just sometimes the shade from the trees can also overtake the garden, you know. That's how it always used to be here. We have trees all around. I'm happy to say that we're almost through here. I just need to do it because otherwise nothing will happen. These should have been frozen. Sometimes it's a really good thing when you have a bag of old seeds, because once you see the first seedlings, maybe the seeds are still viable. And by the way, this is how it happens, like with the seed sellers, you know, like when you have these seed sellers, like the big ones that are reselling seed, they're kind of stocking up seeds like this. And but within 2 or 3 years, the viability could be gone, you know? So a lot of them, they just put them aside, freeze them for later when they need them, when they have a customer that bought seeds, and then they're taking them out the freezer. And that can have horrible results, you know, because you can, at that point, you can't guarantee viability anymore. Yeah, it's always a battle in between having shade and having enough light. It's kind of difficult, you know, you need both. I have recently realized that, like, since maybe 5 years, since we're getting these hot summers, I really appreciate having a little bit of shade. But it can get overwhelming very fast. Always got to be careful with, like I have a humid cellar. You know, the cellar is kind of always at risk. Always got to make sure it stays dry. Otherwise, you have the humidity that's coming out the ground. In the past, they didn't really have a floor. Wasn't cemented. It was just natural soil in the past. So I'm always trying to keep the walls dry, you know. Oh my. I found more. This goes in the trash. I just wrote a number as mother. I never do that usually. I don't know. I don't know what went into my head at that time. It's kind of hard. It was a difficult time, like I said. I have very little recollection from that year, really. But these are the 2024 seeds, the rest that I found. Some good ones in between that we should really plant. This goes in here. This was good. I don't know. It's just too many. Yeah, it's really difficult if you have one of these older houses. Like I said, my grandparents, they have been growing portobello mushrooms in the cellar. They didn't have a floor. They had natural soil, and there were portobello mushrooms coming up. They were selling them or whatever, or eating them, I don't know, but it was really, really difficult to just get a floor in there. And yeah, you always have to be careful with the humidity, especially, I don't know, it happens especially in the hot summers where the humidity collects somehow. I was surprised how many Lubivia seeds I have. This is something that we should plant. Lamprochlorus. Lamprochlorus is a cool species. In this case, pollinated with Telesina. Telegonus echinopsis kermesina hybrid. Yeah, could be great. On the other hand, the flower of the mother was really small. Telesina doesn't have a big flower either. We're not growing it. Yeah, they like my parents have eventually put in a flower and all, but it's never perfect, you know? Never perfect. Oh, we have to plant this. We have to grow these. This is the one with the huge flowers, the Imperialis hybrid with the huge flowers. That thing we need to plant. Like, and this is not a. This is a full fruit. We have to do something with them. Oh, and this one here too. This is Goldrose. Goldrose, amazing hybrid. So this is the stuff that we will freeze. Contents almost just exclusively Lobivia, Sörensia, hybrids, Candicans hybrids, Cantora, a lot of that kind of stuff. And with those, every cross could be great. You can't really predict it, at least in my opinion. You can try, and you have certain plants that are better than others, but in general, you just have to plant a few of them, and yeah, and risk that some of them will be good and some of them will not be good. But we're making progress. The place is looking clean. This was total chaos in the box here. This whole thing was full. Just making sure I have them all. Here's another one. What's that? This is too old. Sometimes I have seeds that are just too old that I wouldn't even want to plant anymore. I don't need to waste my time. Okay. So this is going to go in the freezer. The others we will plant. Sometimes you can really see when seeds haven't been, like when they are mess. Like if you look into the bag and you see like dirty situation, that very often decreases the viability. Very often those are non-viable anymore. Okay, yeah, this is a lot that we have to grow. This is going to be 100 containers maybe. Will be really hard. And the next couple months, I will make sure to already start prepping the heater. When we're sowing out, the heater needs to work. Meaning I have to fill up the tank for the central heating, and that would cost me 2K, a good 2K. And I will also get firewood for sowing out. Like when I'm sowing out, I can also try to induce germination with the firewood to have the temperature that we need. Today we had, like, outside it was like maybe 15 degrees. It was really cold today. I think for the seedlings that we planted like a few days ago, I was worried that we might not get to the right temperature that we need to induce the germination. So yeah, in case we are really sowing out now, I either have to bring in a lamp, little plant lamp that I'm just placing on top of the containers to have the heat via the lamp, or we have to start the heater or wood oven. The wood oven is works great, but it's kind of harder to maintain a steady temperature. But yeah, that's it. This is going to be a lot of work. Here's a fruit that we should clean. Might still have a few cactus fruits here and there. Gotta be careful that we're not forgetting them. Here's some chili, by the way. Check it out. These are the chilies that I've recently harvested. Kerosene, like what I'm using is basically heating oil. It's like a little bit like diesel. And in Europe, this has been like where I grew up. That was one of the main heating methods, you know, like central heating with oil. And it's like diesel, I guess. You could run the thing with diesel, but it would be illegal, you know, because it's taxed differently. But that's the kind of stuff that they are using. Yeah, and I have something similar now. So in this one here, I want to continue. These are seeds that I got from Uwe Kahle. We will freeze a bunch of them. The others we will plant. It's really good. We have to get to the point where we have to decide if we want to plant them or not. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the only way that things were done in where I came from. I think most of the people had central heating with that, and it's still like some of those old heaters are still working. The system was really solid, really reliable. There are some really old heaters that will run 20, 30 years if nothing bad happens. You know, if you are not losing the main burner. But yeah, unfortunately, it's really expensive. It's really expensive to heat the house. Costs like 2K, even more actually, 2.5. Yeah, and that always makes it more difficult to heat. You know, if you could just say, okay, I'm buying 2 months of supply for the heater, then you don't have to pay so much at once. But when you have to pay 2.5K at once, that's a lot of money. And that was the reason why I often was without heating in winter. Like when I was younger, I couldn't afford the heating. I just couldn't. I was freezing, and I was going in some years I didn't even have a heating. Today it's a little easier, it's a little better, but not much. I really hope that one day it doesn't matter what I used to heat, it just doesn't stress me out anymore. Like in the past, I've had so much stress with the heating. Just being able to afford the heating in the house. And yeah, I'm looking forward when I'm like, I can currently see a lot of growth on YouTube. And that makes me happy because I feel like I will be able to leave back that kind of a feeling that I so often had, you know, when I woke up at night and I could hear the heating, and I was worried that the heating would turn off, would go out, you know, would run out of heating. If you've experienced that, like really having cold house, it's not something that I want to recommend. You know, that's not something that's a fun experience. So okay, this comes in here, and then we are taking out and planting in the future. I now have a firewood oven, and it was one of the best things that I ever got. Just being able to start a fire, to put up a fire in the oven, when I didn't have enough money to pay 2.5K for the heating, you know, the fire oven, the wood oven makes a huge difference. Just so you can have a room where you can always stay, where you don't have the cold. And yeah, I was so happy when I got that, and was one of the best things that I ever bought. Really great. But it isn't enough to heat the whole house, you know? Like, I can heat the layer where, like, the layer where the oven is, but I can't really, the heat doesn't really heat everything above. So I would either have to put something similar up in the other floor, yeah, or I don't know, or use the central heating. Central heating heats the whole house, but you always have to have like a full tank, and the delivery is difficult. Where I live, I have to get that water hose back at the house, and it's a lot of work to pull the water hose up. It's not something that you can do alone. I really hate how difficult it always is to just ensure that I have heating. And yeah, that's one of the things in life. I'm really looking forward to a time when I don't have that. I've been experiencing that for too long. It makes you you age mentally, you age differently. I think a lot of the problems that I have today with memory, like from the tick bites and all, also have to do with stress, you know? It makes everything so much worse when you're always in stress. Okay, this is also something that we will grow. We're making progress here, really making progress. This is the stuff that we want to grow. This is the stuff that we don't want to grow. And like I said, with the stuff here, we will find a way to donate some. I just need a system where I know for sure that I'm not just supplying the commercial market. I don't want to sell seeds. I want to give them away for free. And yeah, we will do that for as long as we can. Also, by the way, thank you very much. Someone had sent me free seeds, like chili seeds. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, you know. They will be grown in the live stream again. We will plant a few of them. This comes in here. What's this? Lost label. Thank you very much. This is planted. This is planted. I'm throwing some older seeds into because they might be good. This is Sörensia telegonoides hybrid Ulf Meerbold. Was one of the most impressive plants that we had. But also a chance that it's self-fertile. So putting it in here, not growing it for now. Also because I don't have space for much more of these kind of plants like telegonoides. They need a lot of space because they're not growing straight. They're kind of leaning over, breaking off. Really hard to grow them in a way that isn't where you don't have to stabilize them. I don't like that when I have to do that. Yeah, exactly. I want people to be able to get them for free. I'm not charging money for seeds anymore, you know? I just want to donate them. People can grow them. I would have done it earlier, but it's just an overwhelming task if you see how it is here, you know? Like when you deal with these amounts of seeds, then you have to really, you can't really be packing these in separate bags, you know? Like it's really difficult to say, you have to send out like 50 letters with 50 types of seeds, you know, that kind of stuff. That's a challenge. To just have them being sent to people. In the past, I used to do a lot of that. Like when we did a giveaway in one of our cactus groups, I usually shipped them all. I sat there, packed like 100 packs, and would send them to people. And I can't do it anymore. I don't have the time anymore. Maybe on the live stream, but then we would be doing seeds always on the live stream. Okay, yeah, this is good. I'm really happy with what we did here. I have seen seeds that I haven't seen in 2 years or so, and some of them are really good. We will start with the planting as soon as I can guarantee the temperature. I think we will just bring in a lamp. I use some of these flat solar not solar panels, LED panels to induce germination, you know. And yeah, I will use something like that. That usually heats it up. Yeah, it's really difficult when the more you have, the more difficult it is to grow them the way they deserve to be grown. And yeah, every grower has that kind of an issue because you never have enough space. Never. There's always stuff, and you have to make so many choices. You have to really, every bag that you see, you have to make a choice. And sometimes you just can't make an informed choice because they are so variable. Wurlitz Cantora can give you the best and the worst, you know. So this comes here. Maybe we are already starting to plant them tomorrow. I will try to find a LED panel to get to the temperature that we need. Temperature that I use to induce germination, maybe 30 degree, 29, 30 degree. Yeah, I did that a lot in the past. And but it ended up like when I had put them at the street, there were just too many left last time, you know. So I had kind of stopped with that. Stopped with that for a while. But I need to get back at it. Next few days, if we have a good day where it's not raining, we are packing stuff that we're sorting out. Just packing boxes, you know, like packing boxes of cacti that we decide to sort out. So, by the way, I brought containers here, and I also have new soil. So now that we have a little workspace here, I'm really happy to finally have a little bit space back on the desk, so we can do the work, you know. There was just so much stuff everywhere. Okay, so let me see. This could be seeds that we cleaned. No, this is done. Let's see. This is definitely something where we clean seeds. Let me see. Yeah. This is Chiloensis. Oh yeah, this is good. This is that weird plant from the greenhouse where I'm still not entirely sure what it is. It must be something like Chiloensis. It's just that there are so many of them, so many forms, that you might never see them all. I've seen a few photos in books, but sometimes the photos can be tricky because they show a different sized plant, you know. But this is good. The plant had, like this year, the plant had 2 fruits that it grew. This could be great, because the body is so different than so many of the other hybrids that they have right now. Like Cantora, so many Cantora hybrids. I don't want to have Cantora body anymore. That's why we're also, like, in this bag, there are many Wurlitz Cantora hybrids that I sorted out because we don't want to, because that is the same old body that is so common, and I don't want to do the same. You know, we have the chance here to have some really rare species, and that's what we will use to create hybrids. We will not do the same as everyone else. So yeah, this here is the kind of stuff that's a little underutilized. Chiloensis you don't see so often. And maybe we can create a really good hybrid with them. I've pollinated one with Amun-Re. You know, if you think about it, Amun-Re like flower on a Chiloensis could be great. I often use flying saucer on it because that works. Just to get something with a big flower and that cool, thick, massive body that they have. I have shown the plant in some of the videos and it's really unique. It might also be a hybrid, but I think Chiloensis must be involved. It's just too unique. I got the thing as Validus, I think. And it was variegated when I got it. It was a variegated plant. And it has completely lost the variegation over the years. Grown out. I have no idea how that is explained. Sometimes, you know, maybe the variegation is induced with chemicals, but I doubt it. I just feel like maybe the plant got healthier. That's a good cross. That could be great. I mean, of course, you can also have, like, the people always look at the cross and they expect the best potential outcome. You know, like when you're looking at Chiloensis and flying saucer at both of the flowers, there's a high risk you get the Chiloensis size, you know? The mother is often a little bit more dominant. So if you're pollinating with flying saucer, you might be unlucky and might get the size of Chiloensis and maybe also the color, you know, could be completely dominant, but maybe not. You really have to try it out. Greetings welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Also, everyone else, thank you for being here. Today we mostly had a seed live stream. We are preparing the winter season, sowing out, cleaning seeds and all. Today it's been raining non-stop. It should end later, like in the evening. I heard that it should like get warmer again. But I'm not seeing that Kami will be able to spend a lot of time in the garden today. It's not going to happen. So yeah, I'm almost done here. I just want to get these in a bag. These are good. We have to plant them. This is the stuff that we will plant ourselves and maybe give a few away. But at the very least, we have to grow 3 or 4 containers with them to be sure. And that's a lot of space. If you think about it, the way they will grow out, it's a big plant. Like the mother, if the body comes after the mother, that's a lot of big plants that we would have. Always removing the seeds from the kitchen paper here. I think I'm almost done. Really got to be careful that you're not throwing away too many seeds. They get stuck. They stick so firmly to the paper that you barely see them. They look really flat sometimes. Okay. Cleaning this up a little bit, trying to really get the hair out. This is a classic case of when I clean seeds and I'm not doing it well enough. You should usually clean the seeds right away, not wait too long. The longer you wait, the more organic stuff like this you have in the final seeds, and that kind of stuff can cause infections when you're sowing out. Always good to sort out everything that isn't seed. Sometimes when I'm sowing out, I just spend 10 minutes just letting everything roll around here, you know, and getting rid of everything that doesn't roll away. Seeds are often round, and you can make use of that. Also, the little stuff often stays behind. Crushed seeds and all that. Yeah, and the new time-lapse that I'm filming is really great. I'm looking forward being able to post it. You will like it. It's a really nice one. When I'm filming them, I really try to have symmetry in the video. And in this case, it really worked. One camera is almost full. Might have to change that. Might have to end the video there and empty the smartphone before I can continue to film. That might be happening later today. But the other one still has space and will be filming through. And this looks great. I've already shown a little preview, and the angles were both very good. Really liked it. If you compare the old time-lapse videos to the new ones, it's like a evolution that's really substantial. I'm currently editing the old ones from the last year, and I couldn't believe how rough they were, you know, like in regards to the speed. Yeah, me too. Thank you. The older videos, they have been like they was too slow. They were just often too slow. Should have played out faster. But at the time, I wasn't really seeing it, you know? You have to really see it in a video, how the time-lapse plays out, how impressive it is. Because the faster it runs, the more impressive it can look to a certain point. You know, there's a point where it's just too fast, when the thing flies in front of the eyes, you know? But most of the times, having it a little faster makes a big difference in regards to how impressive the video is. And in the beginning, I often didn't have it fast enough. Okay, yeah, this is good, looking good. I think we have maybe 350 seeds here. Seeds are really small. And with these kind of seeds, that can often mean that the viability is short. So we kind of are racing the clock with some of them. I expect these to be viable for a good year. If we're not freezing them, if we're freezing them, everything is possible. In the future, every seed that we can grow, we should freeze. We should really freeze. I haven't really seen that it decreases the viability. Like some friends of mine had really bad experiences with freezing seeds, and I didn't. You know, I've had, like, most of the experiences that I had was that frozen seeds were longer viable than the ones that were left at room temperature. So yeah, maybe we should do it. It's not something that I would recommend when you have a business, you know, like when you're in the seed business. I mean, of course, it keeps the seeds, viable for longer. But if you have that kind of an overaged stock, you will never be able to 100% guarantee viability. So I wouldn't do it if I were in the seed business. If I were in the seed business, I wouldn't sell more than maybe a year old. the previous year's stock, and then it's already getting to the point where you can consider to either mark it down substantially or not put it in the shop anymore. I wouldn't want to work with just frozen stock. Oh, this stinks. This is a stinky pen. I hate it. I hate it. I think this one had Amun-Re as father. That was a good cross. Could be really a combination that works. But it's also a little bit like with Chiloensis, you know? There might be good reasons that you don't see many hybrids with it. Sometimes they're a little bit more sensitive in regards to overwatering. Or maybe they have a hard limit in regards to the flower size. We will see. I've seen hybrids with Tersheki and stuff like Flying Saucer, and they have potential. You can definitely get an amazing hybrid from Tersheki Flying Saucer. Just that. Two simple parents can have an amazing combination. But yeah, it has to really be something like Flying Saucer and not something like Huasha, like that one hybrid that they're shopping around. I suspect it must have Flying Saucer in it. I keep talking about it because it was the one case where I really looked at it and felt like this must have Flying Saucer in it. Okay. Yeah, these will be planted. We will be planting them. This goes into the box of the stuff that we plant. Good that I looked into it. I almost, like, sometimes I'm just throwing that stuff away. When you have a piece of kitchen paper on your desk, can be really inviting to just pick it up and you want to throw it away. Here's another one. Also Chiloensis. This is the other one. Had two fruits. Good that we found them. So just scraping the seeds off the kitchen paper. I think they are now in Leucostele, by the way. I mean, if it is Leucostele chiloensis or a hybrid with it, yeah, they are now in Leucostele. And because the name was older than Helianthocera. That's what Boris Schlumpberger told me, and I believe it, you know. I have been looking into the age, but this isn't something that I want to really... I feel like I don't want to do cactus botany forever, you know, like in regards to books. I just feel like I enjoy the plants. I don't need to deal with the names. I don't need to spend so much time describing them, you know, like that. There are people that are great for that. And I enjoy being in the practical field, being outside. I enjoy that more. Other people can argue about names and which name is valid. I don't care. I really don't. It doesn't matter how they call them. The plant is still the same. And if you have the plant in the greenhouse, it doesn't change what the current name is, you know. And I never have any desire to attach my name to a plant. Like, if they want to honor me one day and name something after me, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But it's not something that I need in my life, you know. That's not something that I would try to do myself. Like naming a plant after me. I would never do that. if you name it yourself, I don't know. I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to say that you should never do it. I'm sure like there are people that have done great work with a certain species, to kind of make a species popular, keep it around, make sure that people propagate it. There were people that have really helped with identification, and if they want to do it and want to attach themselves to the species, okay, but I wouldn't. I really think, like, I've recently seen that one Tulhuaya, Kansas, like, population that I've seen, from Huancayo, and that one is really nice. I really like that one. And if they ever give that one a name, it should be named after the person who kept posting about them, which was Anna Veli, who kept showing these beautiful photos from that really rare field, like where you often don't see the photos from nature, from Peru, And she had posted so amazing photos. If they ever name that thing, it should be done after her. Really want to say that, because I've seen people assign field numbers to them, assign field numbers to seeds that maybe came from Anaveli, like that kind of stuff. You shouldn't do that. Shouldn't assign field numbers to someone else's seeds. But I really hope that, like, she had posted a very cool plant from the area. And it looked like Tulhuaya, Kansas, but with a different flower. And that could be a genuine, I don't know, subspecies, the way you want to approach it. You have to really look into what it is. And has a different flower color than the classic Tulhuaya, Kansas, but also colored, And she has done so much for the understanding of those plants. So I would love to see someone like Anna Veli being considered when it's about picking a name, I would, like, if they ever name that thing, if that is really legitimate subspecies or maybe even a variety of Tulhuaya, Kansas, then it would only make sense to name it after Anna Veli, who has been instrumental, posting amazing photos repeatedly, really beautiful. In the past, like with Backeberg and all those, I remember that Backeberg also had named a plant after someone that had been sending him photos and plant material from Peru. Very often these people should be considered when naming. I like that. So check it out. This is a lot of seeds. With this plant, I'm also a little bit worried about self-fertility. Looking at how many seeds we got here, that's quite a lot. That's really quite a lot. Doesn't mean that they have to be self-fertile. I think the plant had 4 flowers and 2 of them grew into fruits. That could still be self-fertility, could still be self-pollinating, where the plant decides how many of them it will allow to grow, to ripen. But yeah, could also mean that just 2 of them were successful and 2 of them were not. So we have to grow them out, really look closely at the body, and decide if you can see the traits of the father in the body of the seedlings. That can sometimes give you a first impression if a pollination, if a cross actually was a true hybrid cross or just the result of a self-pollination. And with these, we are trying it out. We are growing four containers each of them. If we fail with all of those, then it's on us. I usually, like when I have something really good, I usually try to split the seeds up. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Trying to do the same when I'm sowing out. Never really using it all up. If I have just maybe 20 seeds, it can make sense to split them into 10 each and spread them out over 2 containers. Because sometimes you have a local event that happens, you drop something, a slug or a snail eats something, bug and fungus gnat, how they are all called, you know? All of these classic problems. Sometimes good to keep a few different ones and keep them at different places in the greenhouses. Okay, yeah, this is good. I'm really happy that we found them. This is the kind of stuff that I'm always at risk of forgetting. I have a really horrible memory because of the tick bites. It has really screwed with my memory. If I'm not writing something down, I'm forgetting it again. That is often like I'm sitting there, I'm writing down the parents of a cross, and by the time I write it, I have forgotten it. Yeah, always good to have backups. And in our case, we will have 3 backups and 1, and that should be enough. I mean, there's still a chance they are self-fertile. That thing could also be a hybrid of some sort. I'm still not entirely sure it's really Chiloensis. It's just the one plant that it is the closest to. Chiloensis number 2. Let's see. Must be the left one then, because the other one was the right flower. Yeah, okay. This is great. We will plant them. Some of those interesting hybrids from recently, like these Echinopsis subdenudata hybrids with Matucana. I like that. They will probably not come up, but we should try it. We should give them a chance. Sometimes you have seeds where you think they are unviable and they greatly surprise you with good results. Okay, yeah, I think this is enough for today. Just want to label these here. This was Schaffery yellow, before I forget it. Schaffery yellow 26. I had 2 fruits on it. One of them was big and the other one was small. I'm always torn with them. Sometimes it feels like they're self-fertile. Sometimes it feels like they're not. It's really funky. I definitely believe in nature there's a fail-safe that protects certain species. If no pollinators are there, at least there's something to pollinate, to induce a pollination. And it might be pollen of any kind, even its own pollen, you know? That would already explain it, that the plant accepts literally any pollen you put on there. So, okay, yeah, I'm preparing the exit here. But I want to thank you guys for having been here today when we were doing this stuff like seed. Seed work can be a little, yeah, it can be a little boring, a little tedious. But it's really important that we're going through them, because otherwise we lose so many unique crosses that I made at a time in my life when everything was falling apart. 2023 and 2024, I was completely traumatized. You know, I had, like, Snoopy passed away in 2023. Then the separation happened in 24. And in those 2 years, I was barely functioning. I was pollinating. I still had a lot of seeds. I just didn't do much with them. And we will do that now, before it's too late. They still have life in them. I'm sure of it. But we have to do it now. If we wait too long, then it's a waste. Then nothing will come from them. So yeah, I mean, later today I will post another time-lapse video. Another one of the old ones that I've edited. Yeah, it's really, really painful work with the seeds. I don't like it. I like when you have to spend so much time inside. It's really, yeah, you have to be focused and sit at one place and continue to do it like for 2 hours straight. That I have issues with that. But I'm also smart enough to know that if we're never sowing out our seeds, then never we will see something good coming from here. And we can't also do that, you know? This is the stuff that's sorted out. A lot of Wörlitz Cantora, a lot of Candicans, Schaffery, Lobivia, multi-hybrids with Lobivia. We will do a charity thing sometime in the future. Okay, yeah, I think this is enough for today. Want to thank you guys for having been here again with me today. Tomorrow we're actually doing something. Tomorrow we are planting. Tomorrow we are starting with them here. I want to use up these bags. Maybe 50 containers. We might also be able to get the viability temperature in the greenhouse. So maybe I could put them out. I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, I mean, thank you very much for the input. I mean, I might look at it later. I hope it's nothing, you know, nothing mean. But thank you for the comment. I'll be back again tomorrow, and tomorrow we are sowing out, filling up a good 10 containers with soil, and then we're planting. Then we're just going through, picking one at a time until we're done. So thank you guys. Wishing you a great day, everyone. Was a pleasure. Always great to do, you know, like we never know what we are doing here. Not even myself. I'm often going into the live stream and just letting it roll. And I enjoy that. So thank you for having been here. I'll be back again tomorrow, same time. Wish you a great day. Wish you a great week. Until tomorrow, everyone. Thank you. Was a pleasure.